All right, welcome folks. We're back. How are y'all doing tonight? Someone's always waiting with a JPEG for the first moment. Welcome y'all. How you doing? Siphon, Twiggy, Beppo, Moonlit. I'm Muli Siegfried. Yo, Cryptid. Glad to see y'all here. Hey, Hannah Pyro. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Knife. Hi y'all. We are back, and today's topic is going back to an old edit. I guess it's not that old. It's a few years. 2022, yeah. One of my first, probably not one of my first, but one of my first like bigger pieces of medical horror. If you remember it, it is Pupillosarcoma. It is basically a cancer of the pupil, which is not an organ or any kind of tissue. It's a void. So it's a void that eats through you, essentially. Cosmonaut, thank you for the follow. Let's check in on the pupillosarcoma. For those who don't remember it, where is it? Here. Pupillosarcoma is a rare cancerous growth of the pupil. It will rapidly expand and consume nearby structures through an unknown process. Some cases have been linked to mysterious disappearances. There is no known treatment except for the prompt removal of the affected eye. Here we have the first phase where like the pupil is taken over like a good chunk of the eye already. Second phase, taken over the entire eye socket. And third phase, it's taken out the entire face. Like, this person's barely alive, probably. Probably a little bit of brain in the back, but yeah, just enough to keep breathing, I guess. That's not the one I started saying was an actual condition, thankfully. Your boss giving me 8 hours a day instead of 10 hours a day? That's 10 hours a lot, Moody. Can you stick a finger in that? Maybe that's how people disappear. With what nose? I mean, with the big hole. Yes. Xeno Knight, thank you for the follow. But yeah, where's my tea? Here it is. This piece here, part of my medical horror. I should put a link to the medical horror here. I'll make in the back. I usually do that with these pieces, but I guess I forgot for this one because it's older. But if you go to the collections on my websites, it is the second one here in the medical horror. Yeah, I'll make sure to make an edit to get a link to the collection. But the idea for today came because a YouTuber who is a veterinarian, her YouTube channel is Dr. Ferox. I'll put up a link for you guys so you can follow her. Yeah, a YouTuber contacted me, a small YouTuber who wants to make a video on pupillosarcoma from like a very medical perspective. I've taken a look at the early version of the video, and it's really good. Like it really like explains it very medically in a way that I think amplifies the horror a lot. So it's gonna be a really good video. But as she showed me the scripts and the early versions, she mentions she kind of ponders what would a metastasis of pupillosarcoma look like, especially in the brain, because she looked through a bunch of the Tumblr asks. People have asked me like other things about this disease, and one of them I mentioned, like somebody asked, can this metastasize to other tissues? And I said, yeah, to the bone marrow and to the brain usually. And and she really liked that idea. So she we ended up coming to the idea of, hey, if you want to commission something, I can do a little edit of a pupillosarcoma that is extended to the brain. So instead of ending up like this one we're seeing on screen, where it's just eats up your entire face, imagine if like at this stage or this stage, a little bit of the pupillosarcoma just like moved to the brain, and there's a bunch of little holes in your brain. Kind of an alternate ending to this one. This one would be like local extension, while the other one would be metastasis. Pupillosarcoma is one of my favorite pieces of yours. Thank you. Hey, Bertosaur. And hey, Leo. Pupillosarcoma stage or great fuck. Yeah, that would be, I mean, this is already stage 4 pupillosarcoma in terms of like, in actual like medical cancer terms. Stage 4 indicates metastasis, which most people, when they think of metastasis, they think of like the cancer extending to a completely different part of the body. But there's also like local extension. Metastasis can also be just through growing and taking over other tissues that are next to it. So this would already be, and this might already be classified as stage 4. Every cancer has its own system for classifying it. So, you know, maybe this could be stage 3, this is stage 4. But the metastasis to another different tissue is always stage 4, no matter the cancer, right? If it goes like to a faraway place, that means like, you know, that already brings it up to the maximum. If it's this very small cancer, you know. But yeah, all this to say, it's probably stage 4 already. Depends on how doctors would classify this specific thing, but yeah, I would very comfortably call this stage 4. But what we're doing today is definitely 100%, no matter the cancer you would be talking about, would be stage 4, because it is going to a different place, extending through the blood or the lymph nodes, or in this case, since it's the eye to the brain, maybe directly through your nervous tissue. I don't know. Is he already brain dead? This guy? I mean, to a large extent, you can probably imagine like the frontal lobe and a lot of the neocortex is probably gone, and there's probably some brainstem in the back there. You know, I don't want to make these pictures gory, and I like the void. I think that's part of the fun. So I made it a void inside, but you can imagine there's like some brainstem here in the back. That's just keeping this person barely alive. Don't worry, he got better. Exactly. Just transplanted an entirely new face.
It's nice to see a medical horror that is truly in the eye of the beholder.
Literally, yeah. So yeah, today's topic is gonna like picking back up on this and adding essentially a little sequel to it, a little side tangent to the story, adding a bit more detail to pupillosarcoma, and giving Dr. Ferox on YouTube the like more material for our video. So it's gonna be good. So the idea I have is an MRI. So you've ever seen magnetic resonance imagery? It takes like images of like slices of your body, but you can also see it in like vertical. We've done an MRI image in the past. It should actually be somewhere around here. Here, right? Like this is an MRI seen from the instead of seen from like the normal slices, it's seen as like a vertical slice, which you can also do. Really useful, really common in like nervous system imagery, right? So in this case, you know, it's for the spine. In our case, it's going to be for the brain. So you can imagine an image, something like this. That's what we're going to try to look for, but centered on the brain. Hey, Nami. Welcome. Bienvenida. And pythons. Hi, y'all. So, yeah. The idea for today is taking this disease and imagining what it would look like on a slice of the brain seen through an MRI. So if we're taking a side view, it depends on which slice we get. If we get a slice, I guess we're going to get kind of a central slice or kind of a slice from here. That's usually the more common ones, right? That would have part of the affected eye. So we could do like the pupillosarcoma like locally advancing in the front, while the back of the brain is just full of little holes. I think that's going to be the goal, the idea here. That's it. Let's see what kind of MRIs we can find. I guess that's our first order of business before we even open Photoshop, because that's going to be the base of our image. So I think we're going to go to Wikimedia. That's usually a good source. If you're going to look for medical images, you'll look for MRIs. And no restrictions here, so we can use any image. Right off the bat, we got some really good stuff. What is this? It's an animation. It's a GIF. Oh, this is tiny. Lulu, thank you for the raid. Welcome, y'all. How are y'all doing? Welcome, raiders. Horror art, yes. You're about to see some. If you're sensitive to medical imagery, be warned. We're about to do medical horror. Lulu, how was your stream? What did you do? Let me explain what we've got for the chatters, for the raiders here. So today we're picking back up on a story I did, little concept I did in 2022, which I called Pupillosarcoma. A pupillosarcoma is a rare cancerous growth of the pupil. It will rapidly expand and consume nearby structures through an unknown process. Some cases have been linked to mysterious disappearances. There's no known treatment except for the prompt removal of the affected eye. So essentially it's like a cancer that, instead of being a cancer of like any tissue in your body, it's a cancer of the pupil, which isn't a tissue, it's a hole, it's a void, right? It's nothing. It's the absence of tissue. So imagine if that started growing and the pupil starts taking over your eye, and slowly your entire eye sockets and eventually your entire face. That's the concept. Today we were making this request and a commission from a YouTuber who's making a video about this topic and explaining it like very medical terms. And yeah, we're gonna do an MRI, so you know, these kind of slices of the body, you know, these sort of thing. I love these animations. These sort of slice look at the brain of a person that has been affected with pupillosarcoma. So we're gonna try to imagine it like in this 3D thing in 2D. We're gonna have to decide what it looks like. You did some horror games? Nice. What did you play? Always looking for good horror games. An MRI scan with a pulsating mass? One of these animations? Not sure. Oh, that's the heart. It's a beating heart. Slow down. Yes, the YouTuber is Dr. Ferox. Give her a look. She's a veterinarian. She's branching out into like some speculative horror type things. I know her because she recently did a video on the art of one of my friends. This last video she did a couple months ago is about a sauropod, a cave sauropod. Like imagine if these giant dinosaurs, after the extinction of dinosaurs, managed to survive in caves and just adapted to be like blind cave-dwelling monsters. Yeah, really fun. It's a good video. It really goes into detail there, and yeah, good channel. Side effect and Thunderhead. Yeah, it's cool to see the heart move like that. Usually the times I've seen hearts beat in real life, no, it's in medical school. It's usually through ultrasound. That's the most common way of like seeing a heart in animation. Like this, really, you won't usually see this in like a real medical practice. It's probably like a research thing. You'll usually see this sort of animation of the heart through ultrasound, ultrasound is really messy to look at. Ultrasound is really difficult to even like see what learn what you're seeing. It takes a lot of training to actually make sense of an ultrasound, if that makes sense. We played Inscription on stream, yeah. It's a good game. Hitting ads. Oh yeah, I forgot to put ads during the countdown today's stream, so people will get ads. It's a bit annoying. It's on me. Okay, we are looking for this sort of image. Obviously not like a clean, like healthy brain. We could take a frame from this animation, but it might be real small. Yeah, that's actually like really low resolution, which is unfortunate because we could have taken like any slice from this one, and I guess we technically can, but I'm gonna look for something a bit higher quality. And one of the problems with these sort of images is, you know, it's usually like brains. If you get an MRI, it's usually because you have some kind of disease, and what we want is like a standard regular brain, so we can take that as a base. So let's see what we can find. See, that's more what I'm thinking, like kind of research images where it's just like taking a look at the brain development. Or examples of different scans. Oh, these are tiny. Let's see if we can find a decently big one. Suzuki, thank you for the raid. Welcome, folks. We're looking at MRIs. We're about to edit a fake disease into them. How was your stream, Suzuki? CAT scans and MRIs both suck. I mean, CAT scans are really fast. Got that going for them. But yeah, you get the radiation. Lots of animations like that. I was not expecting to see so many animations. I guess it always looks cool as an animation. Like the way you'll usually see these if you go to like the radiology part of a hospital. They have these really good screens and like with like really good contrast and stuff. and usually vertical. And then in the MRI program, you'll have all these slices, right? And you scroll through with your mouse, and it does this, right? You like scroll through the different slices, and then you can choose if you see it. So it's kind of a 3D thing, right? So you can choose it if you see it in slices like this, slices like this, slices like this. Congrats on the YouTube feature. It was such a good video. Yeah, God, this is gonna be for a YouTube video. Just the other day, the YouTube video about the falling body photo came out. It's a really good time to see me in YouTube videos or see my work. Because I don't directly appear in the Dr. Ferox one we're doing today. Hi, Bean. Hello, little guy. Oh, are you just... Okay. Just changing positions. There he is. Yeah, for those who didn't see, because we launched pretty directly into the art stuff today, we did talk about it yesterday, but I will put up a reminder that hold on, let me drop you guys a link. I was just on a video on YouTube where we presented how we found, hold on, let me grab a link without the timestamp. There we go. I was just on a video on YouTube about this image, the falling body image. If you've ever seen old like ghost photo compilations, they always have this one. And it's kind of been a classic of the internet for a very long time. And a few years ago, I I kind of went into a rabbit hole and found the author of this image, which kind of nobody knew about, and contacted him. And yeah, I always had this idea to make a video about it, but I'll have video making chops. And but I contacted Jeff, Jeff Hyatt channel is incredible, and it's great at telling these sort of stories. So there's a link to the video in the chat. It's an hour-long video, so yeah, take a moment to actually look through it. I appear there a bunch of times. Pretty much. That's me. Literally here. Great face there. Anyway, we recount how we did this little investigation, how we found the person behind this image, and yeah, then we just talk about art and how people can take art out of context. I make very good faces every time I pause on myself. This one's good. You should watch this video. It's very good. And yeah, I won't spoil what happens. There's a bunch of little surprises throughout. You see the original intent of the art and stuff as well. It's great. F13A, thank you for the follow. I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah, it was so good. So fun to make, and yeah, Jeff was great. He's so good at editing. Yeah, and if you have metal on your head, you usually can't get MRIs. It depends though. Like there's certain things where you can get MRIs, but yeah. If you ever have them, give them to me. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. You took 5 psychic damage whenever you saw the picture. Scary. And then healed 5 HP whenever you see Val. Red shaped. So yeah, give it a watch. It was great. Also, okay, I'm gonna segue here for a minute, but there's housekeeping things to talk about. We did talk about my game Dreadfeather being really close to release. We talked about it yesterday, and I did mention that we were getting ready a pre-order place where you can get a physical copy before we print all of them, right? So if you don't know, Dreadfeather is a a solo journaling RPG. It's a game where you, you know, it's like it's a TTRPG, like a role-playing game, but you can play it on your own. You just need the rule book and a little notepad or anything you can write on. That's going to be your diary. And the theme is sort of like Indiana Jones, but horror. So you are an explorer. You can choose among many different backgrounds, right? From a grave robber to a kind-hearted archaeologist who wants to put things in a museum to, someone trying to strike it rich by selling cursed artifacts. And you show up on this land called Lemuria, and it is this like archipelago that was recently discovered, and this takes place in like early 20th century. So you just show up in this place, and it's up to you to explore it, deal with the people that live there, and the strange cursed things that inhabit it. And throughout it, there's a bunch of like lore you can discover about each of these areas. You can see there's 4 big areas. Those are the main areas. There's 2 other ones. You can visit the sea here once you get a submersible, and there's also a secret extra area you can visit later. But all of them have like a little story that you can piece together throughout all these prompts. And yeah, we're gonna play this. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to see a little bit of the gameplay before you're convinced, we're actually gonna play this tomorrow on stream. Tomorrow and the day after, we're gonna play. It's all gonna be about playing Dreadfarer. I'll have to set up like this camera to point down, because we're gonna like actually like physically draw things. It's not gonna be digital, right? And the booklet for now is only digital. We haven't printed it yet, because what we have right now is an early version that we want to rebalance based on player feedback. And there's still a few like things to edit in the text in the later areas, and there's some images that I want to add. And actually, from this playthrough that we do in the next few streams, we're gonna take little sketches and stuff I make. We're gonna take the ones I like, and we're gonna put them into the actual booklets in around all the prompts. Lilith's playing a mysterious woman in the run from her past. She's aware of your presence. Her goal is to die as quickly as possible to get away from you. I wanted to show back up as an NPC when you start the next character. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, it's a game where your character might and well, it's fairly likely to die, actually. It's a really dangerous place, but there's a whole mechanic around it. Every time you die, your character leaves behind their book. There's 3 ways to die. You can get so cursed that you eventually become a monster, or you can lose all your health points. But if you die or lose your humanity in some way, you have to create a new character, either a brand new one, or someone from the character's own past, someone you've met throughout your adventures. You can choose anything like that, and you make them find this book and decide to continue it, right? So, you find the book of these archaeologists who was trying to discover all the mysteries in this place. I'm gonna finish their mission, right? And you can essentially play not only a character, but sort of a string of characters, depending on how well it goes for you. And the balance, obviously, if you actually play, like I died super fast and didn't have time to really explore this character, that's really useful feedback. So do tell us. So yeah, there is now a pre-order link, which I will put in the chat. There's a pre-order link for the physical version of the game, which is still like, we need to update the digital version still, go through a little bit of that playtesting and feedback, and then we'll have the physical version printed and sent to everybody. So it's going to take a little bit, but you can get the physical version of the book. The book is like 220 pages, by the way. It's like a booklet. It is about this size, but it it is 220 pages, so it's going to be a pretty thick one. And yeah, it's full of writing, full of story prompts in there. You can play for a very long time just because of the sheer amount of different random prompts you can get. It makes it like really replayable, really playable for a long time. In any case, you can get just a physical book for £35. This will probably translate to your own currency, so do check it in your own currency. And there's the Explorer Edition, which comes with all the... Which do we have these here? Oh yeah. It comes with all the little things that we made for the Kickstarter. An actual printed map that contains all the little locations. I don't know if this image... Oh, this image is... It's kind of lo-fi. Let me get you the big one. Where is that? You get an actual map with all the printed area, all the little areas you can visit in game, and you can either draw on top of the map to trace your own course, or just keep it as a little collectible. You'll get a patch with the cover of the game, and you'll get 5 postcards with the 5 main areas, except for the secret one. That look, hold on, I'll show you all the actual postcards here. They're all like these old travel poster looking things for each of the areas, which have with a little slogan, a sight to behold, and it's a mountain that looks at you. Melt away with the horrible volcanic area, the jewel of the deep. There's a big eye looking. Anyway, yeah, you get 5 postcards as well. Anyway, that's my pitch. Give it a look if that sounds interesting to you. If you're still not convinced, give tomorrow's streams a watch, and tomorrow and the day after, and you'll get a feel for what the game is actually like. So yeah, housekeeping aside, that's stuff I wanted to tell you guys about. More about it tomorrow, definitely. We'll yab a lot more about Dreadfarer tomorrow. But let's keep looking for MRIs, shall we? Let me put these tabs aside. There we go. Here we are. This might be good. It's pretty small. All of these MRI images are so small. Like, I don't even mind using one like this and removing the numbers, you know? Oh, that is a completely different thing. This would be great for Dreadfarer. Damn. I'm mad that I didn't find these. I mean, I could still use these. To have a picture of like the camp where you actually restock in the game. Because that's like perfect for the camp. Oh man, I'm mad I didn't found these before, but... Man, so low quality. Give me good MRIs. Go on. Okay, we're getting unrelated things. This one's like decently big, but obviously it has a huge meningioma. Which honestly could be covered by the, like, some things, if it's not like a huge thing in the brain. We can probably cover it with the pupillosarcoma itself, right? Because that's going to take a good chunk of space. This one we already looked at, right? It's really small, yes. And I really want to picture like this one, like this view of the brain. Because that's, I think it's the clearest one. It is also a classic, but it is... First of all, it's really small, but I think it's like much easier to understand, like seeing this sort of side view. You just get it at a glance that you're looking at an MRI of the brain. This might be a little harder, right? I don't know. With my medical stuff, I always try to make it really easy to understand for people without medical training. I might have never seen an MRI. Probably most people have seen an MRI, but we gotta be... Damn, now these aren't the best. I might actually look on Adobe Stock. Adobe Stock, believe it or not. Well, first of all, is it gonna log me in directly? No, it's okay. Yeah, log me in directly. Sometimes it does that. Okay, so if you filter by free, gratis in Spanish, and you look for images, they actually have a very good selection of free images, and I found that they have good X-rays. Yellow, thank you for coming. Glad you can catch a stream. Right, so you can see I already have some of these downloaded. Actually, yeah, I have a folder. Let me see. So I might have a really good MRI just sitting. Okay, so I got this one. No, it's too low. Oh, don't do that, Photoshop for Adobe. I got a lot of X-rays, but not a lot of MRIs. Okay. This one might be good. I think last time I looked for MRIs, I was looking for the ones of the spine with the spinal cord, because that was for the spine parasites. Ooh, look at that. Okay, that is 4,000 pixels. That's quite good, actually. Hey, Mitchie. Hey, Sora. Self-imposed vacation. Hell yeah. Have a good vacation, Sora. To have mobile mode view. Is it bad? Big things coming. Your text here. I just want this, but it might be too small when we actually take the MRI out. Okay, it's quite good. Got this one and this one. Here's one scene from the back. They always have these sorts of images where they just put red spots on top of medical scans. Like, they always have this. I love this sort of stock image. It's so silly. What do people with pupillosarcoma see? They at first lose their vision, but while they do, they start getting strange hallucinations and they start seeing strange things. It really depends on the person, but yeah, doctors say that it's because, you know, the pupillosarcoma is probably affecting the brain already when that happens. But others ascribe different meanings to that. Okay, what do we think of these? Oh, sorry for the bump bean. I startled him. The disease that makes my organs glow red. Okay, well, let's download all of these. I actually had a couple of them downloaded already. I'm gonna put them while I am at it. Gonna put them in my folder with X-rays. Because I guess I already had one of them and I missed it. Okay, so how about we head over to Photoshop? Where is Photoshop? Here. And we drag these three in. I mean, another option we could always do is an X-ray. X-rays are a lot more lo-fi. You could get like holes in there, but I think an MRI might be a bit more interesting. Things with red spots give out the same vibe as feeling hot water going down your throat. Hey, fish. This could be a picture of a screen, and it has like hairs on it. Feels like my screen sometimes. No, it's disgusting actually. No, my screen is cleaner than this, but my screen always has some bean hair. There's always a non-zero amount of bean hair on my screen. But yeah, this image has... And we could lean into, if we choose this one, which I think is quite good. We could lean into the fact of it being a screen and just keep those as little like artifacts. So yeah, that's one option. This is another option, a little smaller. Can remove all the text and stuff. Actually, we could probably, would probably be best to cut these vertically. So let me do a thing. Rotate this image I'm gonna go to the canvas and remove 1000 pixels from the top. There we go, 5x4, which is usually my preferred ratio for vertical images. 3x2 for vertical feels too tall. We might even go, we could even go more square than this, honestly. When are you posting what you did last time? Yes, my Pride Month art. I actually overslept a ton today because of my sleep disorder hit me on the face again. And I missed like the good time to post art. I figured I'm just gonna post it tomorrow. I'm starting my Pride Month on the 2nd because my sleep disorder was mean. Sleepy Starlight, thank you for the follow. Also, I missed a follow by Kyle the Dragon. Sorry about that. Hi Bean. Hello, little screamer. So, for those that missed it, yesterday I did my... Wait, hi Bean. Oh, okay, you're clicking on my mouse. Yesterday I did my Pride Month art, which is the mold that the black mold that attacks turfs. And we had a really angry turf who's been attacked by a horrible mold. This, if you don't know, is a reference to J.K. Rowling and her house reportedly being filled with horrible black mold, and all people started making jokes about the black mold that makes you transphobic, or the black mold that attacks transphobes. So that's exactly what we're doing and turning it into a sort of medical horror thing, but that only affects bigots, only affects people with horrible hate in their heart. And you know what? It's gonna be it's one where I'm gonna have to monitor the response, especially on Twitter, because Twitter is filled with horrible bigots. But the funny thing is that if they get angry, I got the perfect reply to them. It's like, oh, so you're like, if somebody says, oh, they're spreading misinformation about us, I'd be like, oh, so you have so your heart is filled with hate then. You're admitting that you're susceptible to this. Interesting. Which will make them even angrier. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Black mold rare dub. $33, thank you for the follow. Yeah, that I usually do something for Pride Month. Usually it's more like pride flags and little more colorful things like that, which I'll definitely post this year as well. But this year we're going a little bit meaner. I feel like that's the battleground. We gotta get a little meaner. And Blue Sky dub. I mean, people are probably gonna get angry on Blue Sky because they always do. There's always some boomers getting angry at my art on Blue Sky. I don't know why. It's a phenomenon, definitely happens. That's the problem with Blue Sky. It's filled with boomers that take shitposts and art very, very seriously. It's like a strange combination. Like the people who post on Blue Sky are like shit posters from Twitter, while the people who reply on Blue Sky came directly from Facebook. So it's a really strange like clash of internet cultures and generations. So yeah, whenever one of my pieces gets picked up by the Blue Sky like trending tab, or the not trending, but no, there's discover, there's their algorithmic tab. A million boomers find my work and start complaining about it and say I'm spreading misinformation, which is always a funny moment. Mastodon. Mastodon was never going to be a thing. Like, it's too difficult to use for, like, regular people. It's great for tech nerds who care about, like, complicated, syndicated social media, but that's the only people it really attracts. Like, just signing up for Mastodon was already, like, weird and complicated. So yeah, it had that big problem from the start, which if you want to get mass adoption, you'll never get it that way. So I was... The people who moved to Mastodon, I assume have all like either gone back or stayed in these mini communities, which is fine. Call me miss the way I spread information. I just very liberally block people. Oh yeah, absolutely. The block on Blue Sky is great. Do you watch Captain Disillusion? Yeah, I love Captain Disillusion. I think this one might be a little better. I love when Bean just starts hanging from his own bed in strange ways. What is bro up to? Your nails are so sharp. Okay, so this one is really nice because we get full face silhouette with the nose. You can see the nose and mouth. The tongue is there. This one's really clear, really good silhouettes, really good contrast. And if you don't know, MRIs, and that's the reason both of these are MRIs, but the fact that the brain looks like, you know, light here while the liquid looks dark. And here it's the opposite, right? The brain looks dark where the liquid looks bright. That is different modes that the MRI has. I don't really care which one we choose. We just got to stay consistent with what the tissue or when we make the holes, they're going to be filled with like air, I assume. Yeah, I think air. I mean, it would logically make sense that it would be filled with water, but if we use this one, it has to be filled with air, which is this. You know, we see here on the throat and the inside of the mouth and the inside of the nose. Sorry, you see pockets of air. That is, so the holes here would look black, and same for this one because air is always going to look like that. But yeah, we gotta stay like consistent to the type of MRI that we use. And I might have to refresh myself on which one is which because it's been a while since I studied this. Never going back to Twitter. That's a smart decision. Honestly, Twitter is a cesspool right now, where I stay there only because it's still very much my biggest like social media, and even with the very like the few people that have stayed on Twitter, which is a small amount, I still get, you know, it still gets me subscribers on Patreon. It still gets me potential commissions. So that is, you know, business-wise, I gotta stay there. I do not scroll Twitter though. I rarely look through the actual like Twitter's homepage. If I go to Twitter, I'll go to my notifications, reply to comments, and go. I only scroll Blue Sky. Unless I'm like really bored. And Tumblr. I'll scroll Tumblr as well. Tumblr is good because it's really quick to... I don't follow that many people on Tumblr, I guess, so people post less on Tumblr. So I just have like a really easy time catching up with my homepage. Just scroll down a bit and yeah, I'm caught up. That's always good. Make more of a point if the air pockets were black to really play with pupils being a void of tissue. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Makes a bigger impression. So, okay. These two, as you can see, this one is the same type of MRI as this one because the liquid is white while the tissue is black. Same here. This one is the same as this. No, this is another type of MRI that emphasizes the brain a lot. It's not really good quality, unfortunately. Even though it's from the same picture as this one feels a lot clearer. Okay, here's what I like about this one. We get the eye. This one is a slice taken about here. You know, it could be a little left or right within the eye, but I think it's taken about like here around the center of the eye. So we get a good view of the brain and we get the eye like front and center, while this one is right down the middle. We can see the nose perfectly. So also gives us a good view of the brain, honestly. This one, since it's at the side, we don't actually see the brainstem, which goes through here. As you can see, the brainstem, it's right behind your nose, back there. Here we see it clearly, and we see the start of the spine and everything, while here we were kind of seeing the side of the neck, so it's a bit more of a mess of tissues. But I don't think we really need it, unless we want to make little holes in here, which could be fun. Like if we have little pupils opening up in the brainstem, that would make for a scary sight, because that's where your things like your breathing are. So that would kill you. People forget that pre-Elon Twitter already sucked. It did, but it sucked to a very different degree. Like, at least they banned Nazis back then. They even banned Trump. I need to get more into the business mindset. If I want people to see my stuff, I gotta get out there. Really don't want to make much money on it. Don't want to be known, but I want my art known. Yeah, honestly, you gotta go where people are. Like, I hate Instagram. I hate Meta as a company. I hate Instagram. I don't like Instagram as a platform. I think it's bloated, messy. It's just like 3 apps on top of each other that don't really congeal. It has a horrible algorithm that where if you want to be noticed, you have to essentially work for it. You have to work for Instagram and then make it your day job to make content, which is definitely not how I want to engage with my art. And but I still post there because that is where normal people are. Like, even Twitter, back when Twitter was pre-Elon, when Twitter was like bigger, it was still a very minor social media. Like, it had an order of magnitude less than Instagram, I believe. Instagram is what like a lot of like regular folks are, and that's where you gotta be as an artist. I feel like it's great to post your stuff to, like, you know, DeviantArt or Kara or any of those like art specific platforms, but only artists are ever going to see your things on those platforms. If you only want artists to see your stuff, that's fine, but if you want to get to regular folks, you gotta go where they are, even if it's a bad place for artists. But yeah, It's difficult. That's why I even if you personally don't use the social media, like I don't use Instagram at all except for posting. Maybe sometimes I'll get a message there and I'll reply to it, but I don't actually scroll through stories or posts or anything. It's a marketing mess, it absolutely is. Is it the CAT scans where the liquid looks blue? It's always going to be black and white. It's always going to be grayscale. This one looks a bit blue because whoever posted this to Adobe Stock thought it looked better. It's always going to look grayscale though. That's always the first thing I'm going to do, is remove all color. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for this one, even though we don't see the eye. Got a good silhouette. We can edit it a little bit so we can get a better silhouette of the face, even though it's cheating. But I do want to get like a really clear view of the face, just so it's immediately obvious what we're looking at. The money from the Beatles' successful album sales enabled the label conglomerate EMI to develop CT scan technology. Really? Don't post to DeviantArt. Yeah, DeviantArt has been doing bullshit. I don't think anybody really seriously posts to DeviantArt these days, but it used to be pretty big. I used to post. I got started on DeviantArt. That's where I made the Napoleon on a dinosaur image that you can still see on the internet from time to time nowadays. In case you're not aware, I've talked about this before, but let me show you a really early edit from 2012. Where is this? Ah, here it is. This image. One of my earliest Photoshop edits. It's still around. You'll still see it in some corners of the internet. You killed one of your airplanes? Oh no. Hi, Bill. You want it as a shirt? There's a bunch of bootleg shirts of that. I can tell you that right now. Okay. Let me figure out what this is going to look like. This is important. So obviously, first thing we got to make is a primary pupillosarcoma. So we essentially got to take a slice of... Hold on, let me pull out the pupillosarcoma. Here. Okay. So we got to take a slice of one of these stages, not this one, obviously, because then most of the face would be gone. I got to take a slice of probably this stage, as seen from the inside. Right, we're seeing like right at the center. So if we were to see it on the MRI itself, oh, who JPEG'd me? Irito. Yeah, it would need to be a little bigger than this. What would that look like? I guess it's like a missing chunk. Something like this, maybe? Not directly like this, would need to make the tissues make a little bit more sense, but yeah, maybe. And for the brain itself, there's two options for what this looks like in 3D, right? It's either a flat circle, like the pupil itself. So depending on how you cut it, you might get something flat. You usually get something flat, right? But sometimes it would look like ellipses cut at different angles. Or is it a sphere? If it's a sphere, then it would always look like perfect circles, or more or less perfect circles, right? No matter the angle you see them from, because it's like, okay, if the pupillosarcoma is a two-dimensional thing, like a flat thing, every time you take a slice, or, you know, like not fully two-dimensional, right? But sort of flat disc. Every time you take a slice out of it, you would get like some kind of disc or ellipsis, right? If it's a 3D shape, like a sphere or something more or less spherical, every time you take a slice, it will be a circle, no matter if it's like at the edge or at the so it will always, like this, when you take the actual picture, it will look like something like this, or more likely something a bit flatter, like this. While this one will always be perfectly circular. Working on an ARG, nice. Good luck with that. Yeah, that is true. I guess we already sort of chose a sphere, because that already kind of makes a spherical shape, like a cut-off spherical shape, right? But yeah, you could imagine like the pupillosarcoma itself, you know, it starts as the pupil, it starts by bisecting the iris. Like, imagine a little sphere in here. When you bisect the iris, which is a flat thing, the pupil will look like a circle, will look like a flat circle, right? But as this sphere grows, if it catches like a more 3D object, it'll cut it up. Like so. So yeah, that makes sense. Let me actually got these open. Hold on, close them. So let's go with spheres. I think that makes the most sense. So let's choose, I think we'll make like a big one and then a bunch of smaller ones, or a couple of big ones. do have a Discord, yeah. It's and if you do art yourself, it's a great place to post it. Because it's not like most streamer Discords where it's a Discord about their streams. I don't think that's too entertaining. The Discord I made is a big community of artists. So there is a little section of it called Valdevia Operating Room, which is about the streams and stuff, but the rest of the Discord is just a big community. You can see the inside of the head is completely empty. It's, you know, we can't see the inside of the head because the lighting doesn't allow us, but there's tissue in there. We just don't know how deep it reaches. Yeah, I would like a big one like this. I don't know how big. I mean, probably something like this and a little bit higher up, so it's not catching any of the. I mean, yeah, I don't want it to catch any of the big pools of liquid, because I want this to feel like emptiness. I want this to, and if it intersects any of the how do you call this in English? Líquido cefalorraquídeo. How do you say this in English? Cerebrospinal fluid. That's the stuff. Any of the white parts you see here is CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. If it bisects that, obviously the first thing that will happen as it connects here is the liquid would pour in and would get a little pool of liquid. I guess we can do that for some, but not for the big one, because I want the big one to be completely empty. Yeah, so maybe pulls in a little. It would make more biological sense. Yummy. Love cerebrospinal fluid here. If it's a second stage and they start way smaller, like it just started spreading, I mean, it's probably been here for a bit. And sometimes, many times, the metastasis in a cancer is bigger than the original cancer. Because especially for something like pupillosarcoma, where at first it is stuck on the eye is actually like a pretty hardy structure, where it's hard for a cancer to escape that. It's a confined structure with pretty hard limits and edges. So for the cancer to jump there to the tissues around it, it needs to grow a bunch. It needs to create a lot of pressure there. But in the brain, it has pretty much free reign to grow up until it gets to the bone. And here we're talking about like regular cancers where it's like a mass that's growing. There's the opposite, but you get what I mean. It's still much easier for it to grow in a place, a bigger like fleshy place like the brain compared to the eye. And I think some of them might be like right at the edge and starting to get into starting to cut into the bone maybe. So, you know, depending on the structure it affects, it might be a little more spherical. Like if it's right in the center like this, it'll be pretty much a perfect sphere. But if it's close to the edge, it'll sort of adapt to that. And we can have a small one in here, not a big one, because if there's a big one in here, this person's dead. I can tell you that. Maybe a couple small ones in the spine as well. I mean, this is already quite big, but join the server? Hell yeah, welcome to all the people who are joining. Yeah, I assume in the malform the spirits, it changes from different types of tissue. Yeah, as it grows into like adjacent tissue, it would face like some resistance. Like here, it's trying to like escape the confines of the brain, and there's a separation in between the brain tissue and the skull, right? They're not touching directly. There's a little bit of liquid. There's a little bit of, there's like several layers of tissue. The meninges, is that how I say that in English? Where you actually get headaches. The brain doesn't have any way to feel itself. It doesn't. There's no feeling in the brain. You can do surgery, and it's really commonly done, surgery in the brain while the patient is perfectly awake and they've only had local anesthetics on the part of the skull that you're drilling. Once you get past the meninges, you can just dig through the brain and the person will not notice. Anyway, those meninges are likely these, that little like harder line right at the edge, and they're pretty hardy tissue, so it would be harder for it to get, like for the pupillosarcoma to get past the meninges. That would be, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Yeah, meninges, if that's how you say it, but that's how it's written at least. And then the brain tries to crawl out and escape. I don't think this one will be able to.
I think here as a happy ghost listening in and knowing hearing about drilling into the skull. Never a dull moment and a medical horror stream.
Really? Are you happy? I been. Oh yeah. So comfy. Anyway, that is the idea. That said, I don't want to just draw holes in things. I think like everything around it should react. And that's the main issue of this edit, right? That's the main difficulty here. But for now, I'm just like placing these. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the brain itself, take this spot here, and I'm gonna go into liquefy. The first thing I'm gonna do, hopefully I'm remembering the specific spot well, but I'm gonna use this, I guess bloat tool might be the best. And essentially like push everything away from the center, which will create this effect. that, you know, everything's kind of being pushed around. And don't worry, the hole is going to be here, so I don't care if it looks really weird on the spot itself. So there's going to be a lot of liquify, which I don't usually use, so it's always a fun moment when you can use liquify without it looking really weird. Did I get the right spot? Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so this gives us sort of stretched tissue right around the affected area. That's pretty good. Let's continue around here. We'll use the bloat again. There's another small one here, right? And let's see for now. Okay, I think I overdid it here. Or I might just have to move this. Yeah, let me restore a little bit of the area here, because I think I overdid it, especially here, too much. What is the smooth tool? Is that it? Yeah, smooth should unstretch things a little bit. Oh, word in Spanish. Well, let's say brain. Brain is cerebro. Bit longer to say. You'll be finding you understand way more Spanish than you thought. That's because of my very serious lessons. Don't care what AI does, even art, but when it's only when it's obviously AI.
Well. What do I have here?
Hello, Welsh. How you doing? People trying to pass off AI as art and replace human AI with AI. Yeah, but there's also like issues with just like Gallo says, there's issues with how it's made directly that I think are deeper than that. It's not only how you use it, it's how it's being trained and created and the people who are profiting from it. It's a multi-dimensional issue for sure. Did a paper about AI, sociology major, about how the databases used by most LLMs end up giving racist results. That is true. It amplifies bias, since these LLMs are like pattern finding machines, essentially. If there's any bias in your data set, it will find that bias and make it stronger. So like a good example of this is when they started using AI tools to scan through your CVs, right? If you're applying for a company, the company gets 1,000 CVs. They pass it through an AI detector thing that basically tries to find the best ones and put them on the top. So what people found using these programs is that that if a woman applied, she would never get the job because, you know, the AI was trained on people that were hired and sexism exists. So the AI detected that there was a pattern that said basically like women are worse at jobs than men. Like if this person is a woman and their CV, she shouldn't get the job. So they said, oh no, we gotta fix this. Let's make the AI not see, like we'll hide the information, like the gender information from the AI and race stuff, because it also amplified every bias, like gender, race, etc. When they started hiding that, the AI started detecting indirect signs that the person might be a woman, like specific gaps in the curriculum and the CV that might mean this person had like a parental leave, or specific things they studied in university that are more common amongst women. Things like that, and they would start biasing against those. So it's like it amplified bias. Even if you told it, do not even look at the gender information, it would find other ways to be sexist, which is just, it just says a lot. It just says so much. Why the hell is the AI on for sexism? Because the AI found it. The AI is not. I use words. I humanize it. I use words like found or thought, but the AI is just a statistical machine. If the stats you give it are biased against women because society is sexist, the AI will be sexist, and even more so because it will have detected it as a pattern, and it doesn't know that it's not a good pattern, so it just knows it's a pattern, so it will propagate it. Facial recognition tends to struggle with the faces of people of color. Yes, because the training sets used for facial recognition are biased towards white males. And so it will be really good at recognizing white males, not good at any other thing. It's a pattern recognition software, not a nuance machine. Yep. Like, here's one thing the AI excels at. There's been there were some burnt books, or not books, like scrolls, I guess, that were found in Pompeii or Herculaneum, one of those. There were scrolls in someone's like library that essentially got carbonized, and you can't open them, right? They're like a chunk of rock. But they scanned them and they found they were still like residues of ink in those books, but they were unreadable, right? Because it's like this, like we're looking at. It's an MRI or CT scan that they did of it. Someone trained and one of those machine learning, one of those AI programs that are good at finding patterns, right? Trained that on a lot of like Roman scrolls that we do have and Roman writing, and then try to detect like those patterns in the scrolls, in these scans of the scrolls, and they actually found like some words. Like they managed to decipher words because it's a pattern finding machine. It's exactly like that's what it was made for, not to scan CVs. It's also useful when sorting produce and packaging plants. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Victrix. We are making a pupillosarcoma metastasis. Okay, so what I want to do for the edges is to have some kind of, not these clean drawn edges. Although we can keep like the black inside, like I can keep this sort of sketch in place. Gonna redo this, by the way. So yeah, we can keep these. But we're gonna go over and take like actual textures from, things that would be similar to the holes, like this, for example, and apply those, let's say up here. See what we can do with that. Use AI as a complement to therapy. That is dangerous. I would not do that. Because, AI chatbots are designed as literal yes man. They will say yes to anything you tell them. And people using them for that purpose have had the AIs like literally telling them to commit suicide and things like that. It is really dangerous territory you're playing in. I would not recommend that. Not chatbots? Okay. You scared me. Humans are bad enough. Okay, so here's the idea. Using these actual edges, create more realistic non-drawn edge to this. I think that looks pretty good. So let's keep going with it. Just gonna make this in a bunch of different layers and then just puppet warp them into place. So for example, we take this flat edge and we can warp it like this. Till we get something we like. Yeah, that feels a lot more natural, right? Than this. Just adding a couple little textures, boom. Starts to definitely get us much closer to what we need. Should you drink rosemary, Earl Grey, rooibos, butterfly, pea flower tea? Never heard of butterfly pea flower tea. That sounds interesting. Have that. Okay, let's keep doing these. Even if it's like pretty flat edges like this, it's just greebled enough. We need greebles. You guys know what a greeble is? Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll need a few of these for the big hole, but we'll get there. Butterfly pea is a pH indicator. Color changing drinks. Ooh, that is fun. Comes from the genus Clitoria, named after what it sounds like. Damn, botanists getting freaky. Good for them, good for them. It's pretty good. I definitely want to add some artifacts, like these little bits here. So it doesn't feel like pitch black inside. There's still a little bit of noise from the machine, you know, not being perfect. Little things like that. It's subtle, but it'll help, I think. Named after a woman who's believed to be courted by the botanist who discovered it. That's cute, actually. Kind of freaky, but cute. Your kitty Misney's coming over. Hi, Misney. Mitch Bean. Tell Misney about Bean. Look at him. Look at his perfect pouch. Look at the toy he destroyed there. Scratched it too hard. Just Bean looks much fatter today. It's just a position. He's actually like a very he's been stable in his weight since basically since we got him. Like he gained a little weight since, you know, he was in the street obviously. But he weighs 4 kilos. And he's stayed around there for a long time. That right, Bean. He just has a really big primordial pouch. A lot of this you see is just skin. There's just extra skin. Blonk. We love his primordial pouch. Boink. He's never annoyed. He's so good. And he's shedding so much. List of taxa named after human genitals. I love Wikipedia editors. Okay, that should complete the circle. Oh, I went off too much to the side. That's a little better. Okay, that gives us a much better edge. Call this big hole. This is second big hole. And we'll keep going like that. The primordial pouch is where he hides his primordial secrets. That is true. Only times I've used AI for photo manipulations is to ask if an image is real or not. I mean, it's always going to say yes, because it's a yes man. So I don't think it has, like a chatbot has the ability to tell if an image is real, but there is a page that I've used a few times. If you wonder if an image is AI, it's called Hive. What is the name? Hivemoderation.com. Here, I'll get a link ready. There you go. You can use that page and drop an image there, and it'll tell you the percentage of probability that it thinks it's AI generated. It's really, like, it's usually really good. It might have false negatives, where it's not sure if an image is AI, and it might be. But I've never seen it do a false positive, where an image is regular art and it classes it as AI. Like if it has like 90% certainty or something, you can be pretty sure it's right. It has a Chrome extension too, but I don't think it's on Firefox yet, unfortunately. Okay, I'm trying to find like other little places where I can get whole edges. Okay, let me get this one again. Okay, that's pretty good. Chrome, my nemesis. Yeah. I really dislike Google Chrome. Okay, let me get another little chunk of this to just fill in this little bit of an edge. Okay, it's starting to come together. So for this one, since it is fairly small, I can probably get away with just taking it and downscaling it for the small holes. Adding a little bit of blur. Oh, what did I do? Here. Okay, I guess for these smaller holes, like really small ones, I can just blur them, honestly. Or just use like a really blurry. And this, I guess this is an extra hole. I didn't make that one. That one came in free. Okay, what if I use a chunk of this one? Make it a little smaller. And then we're gonna try to adapt it to this section. And I don't care if it looks a little similar, because this one's the one that's gonna be filled with water. At least partially, right? Like the cerebro, I don't know how to say this in English, cerebrospinal fluid, I think that's it, would just sort of pour in, I guess. But there would still be air, so it would sort of create a level. So let's see if we can manage that. We don't have any like levels of CSF because it never contacts air. So I guess we'll just take a chunk that is decently big, like this one. Just gonna copy that here. Or I guess, wait a second. You don't take MRIs while standing up. Oh, damn it. You lie down for MRIs. So this person's lying down like this. Obviously the level, I'm stupid. I am stupid, chat. The level would not look like that. It would create a bubble of air and it would just go up here. It would get lost in the CSF. That's silly of me. In this stream, Val understands fluid dynamics. You know what? I'm gonna give it a bit of an opportunity to make a bubble. By closing this a little further. Creating a bit of a bubble like that. That's not very level. Hold on. Here we go. They put the juice in my brain hole. It would have been a very silly mistake to make if I left it like I originally thought. Brain hole juice. Okay, we have 2 holes left to do. Doing pretty good time. Also I want to fix up this one a bit. Like that. Okay, 2 holes. You and you. Here's my thinking. Since they're a bit flatter, I think we can take some textures from the big hole, from this one, and adapt them a little bit. So just gonna turn this into its own layer. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Choose a different place so it's not repetitive. And then, or I guess, yeah, I'll just do it the regular warp way, like this. There we go. Okay, one more. And I might just do the same thing because that worked out pretty well. Using another chunk like this one. Let's warp again. Sort of pinch it around the sides here. And that does the trick pretty much. Okay, is that all holes? Yeah. Should we add more? Or no, we're missing the main one. But for the holes in the brain, I think that's all of them. Okay, I'm gonna group all these as brain hole edges, because I want to then go in with a soft light layer, and there are some parts that look a bit dark because, you know, I chose this sort of tissue, which it's a little darker than the brain tissue. So this way we can make it feel as bright as the surrounding tissue and get a bit of a better transition between the two. They look good on this part because it's pretty much the same tone. Yeah. I want to get an MRI, and they put the holes in my brain, and then they put juice in the holes. This reminds me of that one scene from Fred 3 Camp Fred. Fred isn't that old YouTube guy where the camp counselors put a special type of drug inside the camper's food, and so in order to turn their brains into Swiss cheese so they can feed the rats. There's one specific scene where it shows inside of someone's head and the brain just literally morphs into Swiss cheese. What is that movie? It's insane. Okay. The face hole. What should we do with it? First of all, it might be a little too big. I think more than anything, it should be flatter, because we're catching sort of the edge of the hole. We're not catching like the deepest parts. So it would be a bit more shallow around here. Since, you know, we're imagining the sphere growing, right? From the front of the face. So growing backwards, starting at the pupil, right? So it's going to be open here. And as if it grows to the face, the opening grows and grows. But we're catching, let's say it's like open here. What we're catching is the side of it. So it would look, what would it look like? Because we're catching the front. It could either look, if we're catching just the side, it could look like a circle behind, like this, actually. Which is not, you know, very intuitive, I guess. So it could be like separate from the skin. If we're just catching the very edge of it. So I don't love that. I think to make it more intuitive, we should be able to catch like this, I guess. So I guess it wouldn't be that shallow. It would be a bit more spherical. Kind of making a cut where I imagine we're doing this. I don't know if it makes sense in 3D. It does make sense in my brain. In my hole-filled brain. Oh, thank you for the save reminder. It's been a while. should I use the eyeball from one of the other... from this MRI? It's too faint. It would have been funny to use the eyeball as a base, but it's just not high quality enough. And this one's the opposite, so... So we get this sort of shape, I believe. And now we have to make sense of it. Especially around the edges. So we can reuse some of the stuff we've already done for the back, because that's pretty much just the same textures I'd be getting. And then we open it up at the edge here. And for the skin, it just ends very abruptly here. So I feel like what we should do is maybe get a little edge from the skin and wrap it around in a circle. And this will make a little bit more sense than an abrupt end like that. And I guess same goes for the bottom eyelid, kinda. What would you call that? It doesn't have a name.
I walked back into my room after going to get something, and my hamster threw himself off the wheel twice trying to look at me while running.
Oh.
Anyway, I must be responsible and sleep. Good time soon, whatever you are.
Good times into you as well. Have a good sleep. Oh, there we go.
Don't worry about my hamster, though. It's like 4 ounces and made of fluff. It's like a cotton ball bouncing.
Oh. It is the hammy. The one and only hammy. Okay, so I'm trying to make sense of all the tissues. Not that they make a ton of sense, but... You're no longer bound by the morality of the clock and have become unstructured. Yes! Join me! We'll be so powerful together. Okay. I also need to sign this, but I've been thinking where to sign. Like in the tissue of the tongue is one possibility. In the brain tissue itself, maybe. Your sleep schedule is actually fucked. Just like me. My sleep schedule's so fucked these days. I woke up at 1 a.m. Woke up, not went to sleep. Okay, there's a few different places we could put this. I think the brain tissue itself is more fun, so let's try this one. Let me clean up the area around it. There we go. Good scratch, Bean. Oh, it's shower time.
I went in for an outpatient knee surgery and they gave me brain holes and injected juice in the holes. Is it possible to swallow?
No, it's good. It's good. The holes are good. Don't worry. Your brain is literally expanding. You're getting smarter every day. Don't worry about the holes, it's a side effect. Oh, licking your ass on stream, dude. Nasty. You kissed me with that mouth. Okay. I see how it is. There we go. That's a signature, isn't it? Text around the image. I want to keep the x-ray clean, but I like that idea too for future x-ray things. Brain is getting more surface area, exactly. All secrets, more surface area for wrinkles. The more wrinkles, the better. It's all about the wrinkles. Kissing on the mouth? No, Bean kisses my fingers. He loves kissing fingers. Wash your mouth first, though. Okay, so now I need to make it all make sense up close, because right now, like, this is very blurry. I rescale different parts, which will make them look weird. A few edges I gotta manually fix up. Just going up close here. Fixing up the hard edges. Okay. Should be good, I think. Now, we go in here and we add just enough blur so that we start losing the grain here, but we don't lose any important detail. So right around 2 pixels seems good. And then we re-add some sharpness, but you know, without all that initial grain. That should help blend everything together texture-wise. Oop, what did it do? Okay. And now we re-add grain on top. That'll bring everything together, I hope. And it should be slightly thick grain. Decently grainy. That was good. You're beefing with Blue Sky, they keep shadow unposting? How so? Like you post it and then it disappears? That'd be a new bug. Forgot RFK Jr. was real. I wish he wasn't.
Blueski when nipple, Mallorca.
Mallorca. Means bigger than, because it's a bigger than sign. Posted and then nobody else can see it. Oh, that might be because of their settings. If they have in their settings that to hide suggestive content, which I think is turned on by default, I have to turn off that filter to be able to see suggestive content. I think that's how it works. Okay. Just changed the contrast and stuff a little bit. That is not like a strange thing. Like if you actually see radiologists as they look at these images, they will constantly be messing with the contrast and stuff to see different areas as well. So it's not out of the question. Vignette though doesn't fit here. As with any color thing, we don't want to add any color. This has to be black and white. So let's see, that's the before and after, and you can see very clear that the areas, for example, all these areas we stretched and we liquefied all around the different holes ended up looking kind of weird. And, you know, all the grain got stretched. Boom, they're now perfect and match everything around them. Which is why, you know, we could get away with liquefying things to a pretty high degree, because it would have ended up blending anyway. And there's the tiny holes. I think they look quite good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Let me save this as a JPEG. That was a macro. It does everything on its own. Saves me like a few clicks. Yeah, the filter, I don't recall exactly, like it's somewhere in the settings, you can turn off that filter. I don't know if by default it blurs or hides them. I don't know. I want to see shoulders. The cursed shoulder. If you want to see my art that was too scary for Blue Sky, hit me up on the Discord. You can definitely post like artistic nudity and stuff, that's fine. JPEG your nemesis? No, JPEG is a friend. Don't be afraid of the... Don't be afraid. Honestly, like a high quality JPEG, you will never see an artifact. It's only low quality JPEGs that have artifacts. It's a good format though, it's compatible everywhere. What I do despise with all my heart is WebP. WebP images are the bane of my existence. They're so annoying. Nothing like, only like web browsers can format these images correctly. Otherwise, they don't open in any program. Every time you download an image off the internet and it's fucking WebP, I pull my hair out. WebP needs to die. I don't mind WebP existing, but make it compatible with everything before deploying it everywhere. Like I think Photoshop only recently started opening WebPs. Like recently as in like a few months ago. It's a cursed format for sure. Hopefully if it gets better compatibility in the future, then that's fine. Good for WebP, but for now it's cursed and evil. It's the second worst thing from downloading pictures off the internet. The first one is when you think you're downloading a PNG, because it has like a checkered background, and you go to download it, and it's a JPEG with a fucking checkered background built in. That hurts me. Like, you know what I mean? You ever had that happen? Like, okay, let me give you an example. I get this image, right? I'm downloading it off the internet, and it comes with this checkered background like this. You're like, oh great, it's okay, hold on.
Valhate's chess.
Like, oh great, it's a PNG, and you paste it, and it looks like this. It has the checkered background built in. I hate when that happens. Anyway. The finger stroke prints on Bean's fur. I'm gonna mess you up, Bean. He doesn't even care. It's the perfect moment to strike. Get all that shedding fur away from my nose and into the trash. Barry, thank you for the raid. Welcome. I'm removing all the fur from my cat. I'm making him bald. No, you're making holes in the brain. This is a sequel to my pupillosarcoma images, which is a made-up disease where your pupil starts growing and growing and growing and taking over. Since it's a fake cancer, today we're doing the metastasis of this cancer. Imagine it starts colonizing your brain and making it into Swiss cheese. And yeah, as we were yapping, I was also getting all that shedding hair out of Bean. I'm making a Bean hair collection so that I can take it and make a second Bean with it. See, we're getting pretty good already. Soon we'll have a second Bean made entirely of hair. A Bean effigy, exactly. Bean is chilling right now. You're chilling, aren't you? Sleepy boy. Sleepy and very hairy boy. Hope you stop shedding soon. Get your summer coat ready, dude. Who doesn't have a jar full of pet fur? Who doesn't? My collection grows. It's in the trash. The trash and in my hands, and soon in my nose. Isn't that right, Bean? Silly boy. You want this? Is that it? Okay. You didn't have it. Bunny kicks. What are you doing, Bean? Are those bunny kicks? He loves it. Retire for Bean. Me too, me too. This is Bean's stream. I'm only a guest. And don't worry, he's not gonna hurt himself with bristles. They're currently covered with the plastic, so. Attack. Attack my soldier. He doesn't like being... It's like, I'll take care of that myself. He doesn't like being brushed on the tummy. So, I use that to play with him. Oh, okay. Little pause. Clean those fingers. 4 doubloons. I'm gonna turn my cat's fur into an old man comb over for Dolger. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. I'm tricking him into being clean. That's good. Bunny kicks. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Ouch, he got my finger. Bunny kicks. You're killing it, Bean. Good job. A word in Spanish. Well, I'll tell you how we call Bean here at home. Not always, but one of his many nicknames here is Bimbo. Because that's not because of bimbos in English, but because Bimbo is a brand of bread here in Spain. I think it's actually Mexican, but it's like also the biggest brand of like sliced bread, that sort of thing. So we call him Bimbo because he'll loaf around and he'll look like a little sliced bread. Isn't that right, Bean? Yeah, specifically rye bread. Yeah. It's made of rye bread. Yeah, Bimbo has a cute little bear as a mascot. Like a white fluffy bear. But Bean looks more like the bread than the mascot. Ooh, look at that. Very good. Kill it! Kill it! Whoa! That was a big kick, my dude. I mean, oh. You skipped the song? Okay, you didn't like that one. That's fair. Let me get your other side, Bean. Can't only get your hair on one side. Whoa, look at all I got. He's scratching himself with the bristles. Don't hurt yourself, okay? Yeah, be careful. Good and gentle. I got everything I got. Good bunch of hair right there. Soon we'll have a second Bean. The second coming of Bean. Super shedder. He sheds a lot around this time of year because he's getting his summer coats. He's usually now and around autumn. He has like the two big sheds. Here, you can play with it. I'm done. Here. All yours. You know, I let him play with it so he doesn't like see it as something to be scared of. It's like, yeah, it's just an object. And that way he's like chill around it and he doesn't feel like every time I brush him it's like I'm gonna annoy him or something. He feels like, oh, it's just a little game. A little game that we're playing. He brushes me and then I bunny kick it. They stopped last month? Yeah, it's a bit late for being to shed, but I don't know. I don't know how cats circadian rhythm for shedding works, like their yearly rhythm. I thought it was going to be a bit earlier, but he's really starting now. Don't forget to adequately hydrate your dough. But it wasn't hydrated well enough. Typically doesn't develop a very good crumb. You hear that, Bean? You gotta drink more water. Yeah, but these days, every time I like pet him for a bit, I'll just feel like cat hair getting into my nose for half an hour. Like, I'm just doing this without a brush or anything, and my hand, I don't know if you can see it. This is my hand right now. It's full of bean hair. So yeah, then I'll touch my face, and then there's cat hair getting into my nose and making me sneeze. Tickling my nose. Evil Bean. Playing tricks on me. But yeah, hopefully it will stop soon. My god, Bean. He enjoys me getting all the hair out. Saves him a lot of work, I guess. Yeah, the problem is my table is then just completely full of it. I need to be wiping it constantly, and my my mouse, my keyboard, everything needs to be cleaned constantly, so it just doesn't get matted in hair. And my face as well. Bean loves the attention though. Thanks for the save reminder. Oh, where are we? Here. There we go. Yeah, I'm ready to call this done. It's been a bit of a shorter stream, but you know, with these MRI images, there's just not that much to edit because you need to like stay really close to what real MRIs, like the real like mechanics of MRIs. So obviously, this is not realistic in a really big regard, and that's the fact that it is full of air. There should be some kind of process going on in the pupillosarcoma that is turning these tissues to air, because you can't have air from the outside getting in, right? These are getting formed directly inside. But we can't fill them all with water like this, because that would be a bit boring. And one of them is enough to show that, you know, if it gets in touch with the body of water, it will, you know, it will get filled in. See you when. No, Bill. Never. But yeah, I might end the stream a bit earlier today. We call this one done, and tomorrow I'll remind you what we got. We're gonna play Dreadfarer, so I'll have to set up the stream, the camera, and everything in a different way, because we're actually gonna be writing and drawing. If you don't know, Dreadfarer is a game, a TTRPG I've been working on, and I'll have, you know, have my camera set up with looking down at the desk with a little book or something. I'm just gonna fill it in with my adventures as I play the game. Dreadfarer is a solo TTRPG, so it's a game, a role-playing game you can play on your own, where you create a character and you have them explore a strange and new cursed land that is discovered in the early 1900s, and yeah, you gotta create a character and go through this place, finding strange artifacts and getting really cursed and getting into a lot of danger and often perishing. I got a lot of fun stuff made for it, and I can't wait to see when people start playing it. Can't wait to see what they come across, and what art and stories come out of it. If you're interested in playing it, or you're already back to the game and already have it and are planning on playing it, go to the Discord, because we got a channel on the Discord called Dreadfarer, where you can share your stories and what's been happening to you in the game. If you want to have it when it comes out and want to have the physical version, you can get it right here. It is now available for pre-order. There's limited numbers, so to get them while you can. You can also get them with an extra map, like a big foldable map, a patch, and some postcards. And yeah, the game itself, the book, is going to be 220 pages, so it's going to be a thick little book, full of writing, full of like story prompts for you, basically. So you can also play it with other people, where you each have your diary, and you're kind of collaborating on the story. So there is an extra role set that you can use for several people if that sounds interesting to you as well. But yeah, the main mechanics were built for one person. The multiplayer version is sort of like alternate mechanics, where you have like some mechanics where you can take different decisions, and then you have to roll against each other to see who wins. So you can have your characters not only collaborating, but actually like maybe fighting over an artifact. One of them gets like more corruption than the other, and you can have like one character going evil while the other doesn't, that sort of thing, which is a fun little extra. But yeah, we will be playing this tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So at least tomorrow and Tuesday, we'll be playing some Dreadfarer for a few hours, so you guys can see what the game is actually about, what the day-to-day, what the moment-to-moment of the game is like. We're gonna make little sketches and stuff as we go, and when I'm done playing the game, I'm not gonna play the full playthrough, because I want to leave like little secrets at the end and stuff to people, for people to discover. But we'll show kind of a slice of the game, a good chunk, and as I do, I'll be, your goal is to fill a diary, like a journal of your adventures, but you can make it, you can just do a lot of sketches and do the basic story, or you can do all writing. You could do any sort of combination of, you can tell your story however you want. That's yours to tell. So I'm going to do a combination of writing and sketches. And then I'll take whatever my favorite little sketches and stuff, I'll scan them, and they'll actually be put into the book. So you'll see them around the pages with all the writing prompts and stuff. You might see little sketches that I made. Apart from the actual edits, I made a bunch of them, and you'll be seeing them throughout. Still a couple of them I need to add, so there will be more. If you have the early version of the game right now, you will. Yeah, there's still a few edits that will be added. But let me show you a couple of the things I made. I made images for curses. For example, this curse where your fingers fuse. I made images for the strange cursed artifacts you can get. Like, for example, let me show you. The veined carob is a living artifact you can get. And I made a bunch of images for areas. Like this strange tree growing on top of a mountain, or this white mountain in a sea of lava, of dried lava. Love to get the Explorer's Kit? Hell yeah. yeah, we have a limited number available at the moment. We'll see if it goes out really quick, we might open up some more. So it's not like a super close number, but we don't know yet. We'll see like as it develops. How many total creatures? I mean, it's not all creatures. It's more like strange areas, strange items, and the encounters, which are like strange situations, sometimes have creatures. But they are taking all of those, like those little prompts, right? There are, I think we calculated 400 of them for something like that, I think. It's like 60 per area. Hold on. Taking out the calculator so I can give you the actual number. So we got 20 objects, 20 remnants, they're called in the game, plus 20 areas, plus 24 encounters, that's 64, and that's times 6 areas, 384. And then, you know, there's 20 curses, so if you count things like the curses and stuff as well, it goes over 400. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. I didn't write all of it myself. Obviously, this was a collaboration between Neon Rod and I. I did write most of the locations, the items, and then the encounters were a bit more shared between both of us. So the more mechanical stuff was more Neon. The more graphic stuff and the prompts were more me. It was very much a collaborative effort. Like we all there's some art by Neon in there as well. So it's not like we each only did one thing, right? We each did a bit of everything. So yeah, I'll call this one done, and I will call this stream done. We're talking about Dreadfeather. If you're interested in seeing it, tune in for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow's stream, because that's when we're going to be doing it. So hope you can get it. Yeah, you can get it already. So go to the link above, and if you want the printed version, if you want the PDF, go to the Discord. There's a link there where you can get the PDF. And for now, it's an early version. I'll just like be upfront about that. Like it's not a finished book. There's going to be tweaks to the writing, especially towards the end. There's going to be tweaks to the mechanics probably as we get feedback. But if you're interested in like playing it and getting feedback, you can get that early PDF version, which will be updated to the final version, obviously, through a link that is pinned in the Dreadfeather channel on the Discord. So yeah, head over to the Discord, the Dreadfeather channel, and scroll up a little bit, or if it's too far up right now, go to the pinned messages. There's one link to the printed version you can pre-order, and to the PDF version, which you can get and play right now. It's only digital. So yeah, y'all, thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing time zone, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, folks, take care.